Hello and welcome. I wanted to show you these really cute banners I've been working on, and they're really quite easy to make, and I've done a step-by-step instruction here. Now what you're going to need is some canvas fabric or a heavy-duty cotton or even an outdoor fabric. I got mine in the beige color. You're also going to need some black acrylic paint and a contrasting colored fabric. I used red here for mine. You're going to need some Under Wonder, and also some black thread and a sewing machine. This particular canvas measures 29 inches across and 42 inches long. Okay, first things first, you're going to want to take your canvas and draw your lines on there. And I did my lines, or my stripes I should say, 2.5 inches wide. So I took my rulers here and I just went, and from the top I went down about 1.5 inches, so I had a border. And then from that 1.5 inch border, I took my 2.5 inch ruler and just started making stripes, as you can see me doing here. And I did it all the way down the canvas because I wasn't for sure how large my banner was going to be, so I just went all the way down. Okay, once I got my stripes on, what I needed to do was tape them off so I could paint the stripes black. So I got me some painter's tape, and I taped on both sides of the 2.5 inch stripe that I had made on the fabric. And it's quite easy. Just make sure that your tape is good and straight on that line, because you don't want your lines crooked. So make sure it's good and straight on that line. And also you want to press down on the edges of your tape that is on your fabric so that you don't get any underbleed of your paint when you're putting it on. And one of the paint that I'm using on here is an acrylic paint, and I'm not diluting it. I'm keeping it very thick so it will not run or bleed underneath the tape. If you make sure your tape is down good on the edges, I just kind of burnished it with my finger after I got them all laid out. Just kind of burnished it on the edges. I did run out of the blue painter's tape, so I went and I got some yellow frog tape. I preferred the blue painter's tape over the frog tape. It just stuck to the fabric a lot better, but I was just using what I had. Once I got that all done, I got my black acrylic, and this is just a common acrylic I got at the craft store. I also picked up some textile medium that you add to your paint. This medium allows you to heat set your paint. So go ahead and get a dish. You'll want to mix them equal part of the textile medium and equal part of the paint. Once you get that in there, just go ahead and start mixing them really good. I put a little bit of glitter in mine because I wanted to see some glitter in my stripes. So go ahead and pull your fabric down and get it all nice and neat and ready to go. What you're going to need is a paintbrush. Don't get one that's too stiff, but definitely not one that's too soft. So get a good medium bristle paintbrush and just start painting your black paint on. I went right up against the tape lines because I was hoping to prevent any bleed through, and it worked for me. So I went ahead and just would fill in and then go down and trace the tape line and continue to fill in. And I did this all the way down the canvas. Now, once you get them all painted in, you're going to let them sit and dry for about an hour. You'll know when you touch it. If it's stiff to the touch, then it's dry and ready for you to take the tape off. This is kind of a satisfying point because you take that off and you see those nice, beautiful, crisp lines. So go ahead and take off all your tape and discard that. Now you're going to want to heat set your stripes with your iron. So just go ahead and press it with a medium heat. Once you've got your stripes set, you're going to want to get your ink pad out and a pencil-y brush. This is a stiff, hard brush. And you're going to want to dab that brush onto your ink pad, and lightly, right on the edge of the stripe, you're going to shadow the stripe. And you're going to do this on every stripe all the way down. And you just keep working it, and it will come off. Just gently scrub it in there. And it's going to take a little bit of time. This is a little tedious, but it does work. And then on the corners, I went ahead and shadowed those corners as well because I just like the effect Okay, this next part is what's going to be required is your underwonder and some fonts that you might like to use and a light table. You can use a window if you want to press your underwonder up to a window on top of the font, because what we're doing here is on the underwonder, I am tracing the font that I want to put on my banner, but you have to trace it backwards, because when you take that underwonder and you iron it onto your fabric and you cut it out, you need to be able to peel the back of that underwonder off, and when you turn it over, it's going to be right side up and it's going to make sense. So I hope that's not too confusing, but what I did is I went online, I got some fonts, and I just turned the font upside down on my light table, and I traced it on the paper side of my underwonder. And you'll know that when you see your underwonder, because it's got a paper side and then it's kind of got a fabricy side, and the fabricy side is the glue side. So you want to trace your letters backwards on the paper side, because you're going to press the glue side onto your fabric and then peel it off and turn it over so it will be right side up. So when I do this, I make sure I have my saying that I want to put on my banner all written down, and then I go through and I check off each letter as I trace it, so I know that I've got every letter that I need to complete my banner at this point when I'm done with all of my tracing. Okay, now what you want to do is get all your underwonder that you've got all of your letters and symbols traced on, and you're going to want to get your fabric that you're going to actually press the underwonder on. Like I told you, I did red, and you can see that in the sample. And then I took my fabric and I ironed it. I wanted to make sure there was no wrinkles when I go to put my underwonder on there. I want no wrinkles in my letters. So I just give it a really good ironing. Then I take my underwonder and I just start placing it and piecing it. You can cut it up into each individual letter. I like to put a great big piece on, and I will actually take my underwonder and cut it to fit my fabric so I'm not wasting any fabric. But you'll want to just press that underwonder on there, and you can tell through the iron, and there's instructions when you buy the underwonder, it's included, how long it needs to be on there so that it actually adheres to the fabric. So you want to make sure you get a good connection with the fabric and the underwonder. At that point, what you're going to want to do is start trimming your letters, cutting them out. Right here you'll see the little dollar signs that I'm cutting out. And you can see I flipped it over, and now it's the correct direction. That's why you do the letters backwards. And so this takes a little bit of time. Just make sure you have a good sharp pair of scissors. I don't know any other better way to do it unless you've got a Cricut machine or something and you can set it up. I have one, but I have no idea how to set it up. So I just stick with what I've got. Now I'm going to jump ahead here a little bit. What I've done is, this is a different banner I was working on, but as you can see, I took all my letters, I cut them out, and I laid them out on my banner, and I just put them where I thought it looked balanced and even the way I wanted it on my banner. So that's your own choice. So on this particular one, I laid out all my letters, and then what I do, because on the underwonder you'll peel off the backing and you'll lay them there, and then you press on it with your iron, and you hold it down over the section for about 5 seconds, and that iron should be pretty darn warm. But again, follow your underwonder instructions on that, and you'll press it down over the whole banner. And once you've got it pressed down over the whole banner, this is when you're going to head to the sewing machine, and you're going to trace around each letter with your sewing machine. As you can see here in this close-up, I have taken black thread in my sewing machine in both the top thread and the bobbin thread, and I've traced around each letter once it's been glued down through the underwonder onto the banner. That just gives it even more definition. Now, if you didn't want to sew it on there like I did, I guess you could use possibly a permanent marker or some type of marker that you can draw dashes. I guess that's one way to do it if you don't have a sewing machine. I just like this way because it gives it a finished look. And so as you can see, every letter has been traced and sewn around with the sewing machine. Now at this point you're almost done, and you just need to figure out how you want to hang it on the wall. You could possibly sew on some Velcro on the back and put Velcro on the wall, those wall mounted picture hangers. That's always one way to do it, so you don't have to put a nail hole in the wall. I chose to use grommets on mine. I like the look. It's a little bit more, I I don't know, it goes with the grunge look of the banner. I liked the grommets. And so I believe on this one I put 4 or 5 grommets across the top. I just went and bought a grommet kit at Tandy Leather, a leather shop, and went ahead and put them on. So here it is, all finished. You can see my grommets on top. You can see my dollar signs. I put them on a little piece of fabric and then I sewed the fabric on there. I liked that look. I hope you enjoyed this little project. I know I enjoyed making them. And if this project isn't for you, but you're interested in a banner, please message me or head on over to my website, obsessedpainter.com, and you can fill in the contact information. And I'd be happy to get back in touch with you and give you a breakdown on the cost. Again, I appreciate you being here with me and have a great day.